Okay, in the last lesson we created a swim procedure. It applied to the class fish, so any instance of a fish can call that swim method. We saw that we had the clownfish and the blue tang both swimming using the swim procedure. One thing though, it'd be nice if the fish could actually increase its speed as it was swimming. With each push of the tail, it should get faster. We can do that by adding a parameter to the swim procedure. Here's the swim procedure here. We saw that we had the tail movement with a simultaneous flapping of the front left fin with a simultaneous movement forward. I can add a parameter and I need to select a value. It's going to be a decimal number because I want to allow fractions of a second. And we're going to call it how long. How long will this animation take? It tells me that there are already 2 calls to this procedure in my program. That's why I'm getting this error message. I understand that and I need to update the procedure calls. I'll do that at a later time. Click OK. So now I have this thing called how long that I can use inside this procedure. Parameters are a piece of information that is required by the procedure in order to complete its task. So I'm going to use how long in determining how long to do each of these animations. For example, the movement forward will take how long seconds. But because this animation, I had 2 animations that had to equal the same amount of time as the movement forward, I'm going to have to take this animation here and take it and make it equal to a mathematical calculation. What we're going to do is take an unknown quantity and divide by another unknown quantity. Let's see now. I'm going to divide by, take the how long and divide by 2. Do the same thing for the other duration. Have a mathematical calculation. Take the how long and divide by 2. Now if how long came into this procedure and it was 1 second, then 1 divided by 2 is a half a second, 1 divided by 2 is a half second. If how long comes into this procedure and it's 5, then take 5 divided by 2, it's 2.5 seconds for this animation, 2.5 seconds for this one. They add up to a total of 5 seconds. Now over here, I moved my tail left, took a quarter of a second. Well, let's make that into a calculation. Take how long and divide by a custom decimal number, 4. That didn't work for me. I want how long here, and I want 4. Custom decimal number 4 here. There we go. Do the same thing. Take how long. Divide by, so I'm going to divide by 2. That was correct. Take mathematical formula. I'm going to take how long and divide by 2, and we'll change that to a 4. So for 1/4 of the time, I do the first tail movement. 1/2 of the time, I do the next tail movement, and 1/4, adding up to 1 whole amount of time. Let's go back to my first method. And instead of having a loop, I'm going to call the clownfish and move it, and we'll take 1 second for that first movement. Do the same thing here with the blue tang. Let's get it the blue tang to swim and take 1 second. So right now we're calling the swim procedures with a default of how long equal to 1 second. Let's take a look. So they take 1 second, then they coast forward. So now let's call it again. This time we'll take half a second. So the first call takes 1 second, then the second swim will take half a second. It should speed up for the second swim. Very nice. Let's do a third one. And we will make it 1/4 of a second. So it's speeding up quite rapidly for the third push of the tail. Let's take a look. Okay, so we can work on setting the parameter how long to numbers that work so that we get a nice fluid animation where the fish seems to swim up